Alright, so I'm pretty much done with the iteration 4, and I'll just go over some of the new things that I've added. So the first thing is the game configurations window. So it's a whole custom configuration window for changing a bunch of the game settings. So you can change the bullet settings. Here you can see they're kind of sectioned for different bullet types. You can change the trajectory settings, the length of the trajectory lines, and you can enable and disable the trajectory. You can change ad settings. You can enable the disable different types of ads, and this is where you set the ad ID. You can set the ad counter threshold, so how many times the ad counter has to be incremented before the ad is shown. There's the ad initialization delay, so this is just to make it a little bit more natural and not sudden. So you can see the little warning here: do not use real ad unit IDs for testing. It's against Unity and AdMob policies. Instead, use the sample IDs given below, which are these. You can use these, and yeah, these are the test IDs. Using real IDs can result in the publishing account being banned because Unity does automatically detect in the editor if you're using real test IDs. So yeah, do not do that in development builds. And you have data handling, which is the new big thing here. So for data handling, you can set the save environment. So this is essentially the save file path in the cloud, the save file name. So changing this will lose data that are previously saved in a different save environment, right? So in production, you probably want to change it to production. Currently, I have to dev 3 because I just test on different environments. And you have the default sync strategy. So these are not implemented from Playgame's platform. I had to implement these, so I could, add new options if needed. So the default sync strategy, so by default, how does local and cloud data save? So I have it set to user choice because there's a lot of scenarios when you're syncing. If you always set it to prioritize latest, what could happen is the player plays the game in one device and then goes to a new device, and they're not signed in into the other device, so they save it locally. And when they sign in, even if they have more progression on the other device, when they sign in, they will automatically sync with the local save on the other device instead of having it sync from the cloud. So yeah, so prioritize latest is not always a good idea. In some cases, you can use that, and you can also set it to prioritize cloud, so it always syncs with the cloud, or you can set it to prioritize local, so it always syncs with local. And you have the mid-session sync strategy. So this is if you're in game and you sign out and then you sign back in without quitting the game. This is also set to user choice. So this should, I think, always be user choice because actually you could set it to prioritize latest mid-session sync strategy, but I just currently have it to user choice, so you can easily change that. And this is the Playgames platform settings, so the cloud save settings. Data source, it's set to read cache or network, so if you have some cache information available, you can just read from that. The conflict resolution strategy, set to use most recently saved. So if you go into a new device and you sign in, and you're also signed in into a different device, it will use the most recently saved. And you have the enable save settings option here. So if you want to disable it, you can disable it. So about the local saves. So the application has in-app purchases, right? So regardless of it, they cannot purchase if they're authenticated, okay? However, it still has to save in-app purchase data, such as, the amount of stars, the in-game currency, and some sensitive information. So I encrypted the data with AES encryption, so it's safe in the raw format, but if someone really wanted to, they could dig out the AES encryption key from the project because it's saved locally and basically, tamper with the data. The AES encryption key is basically the device unique identifier, so it's different for every device. So that's a little bit safe, so some other device cannot access the data on a remote device. So that's that. And for the analytics tab, you only have option to enable or disable analytics, and the analytic sublevel analytic event name is set to dev sublevel analytics. In production, you could change it to production sublevel analytics, but then in the dashboard, it must also have the corresponding name. So in the dashboard, you'll also have to add an event with the same name and same parameters. And in the build settings, there's only one option, so enable build debugging. So that's the log terminal. If you have this enabled, you can look at real-time logs in the build version. Um, that's that. Let's see. That's all for the configurations window, and let's look at the list of things that I needed to do for this iteration. So the sign in button, so if I hit play, actually I could start the little remote phone player. So okay, perfect. So I'm guessing you can see this. So there's a watermark, so don't worry about it. It's because of the application I'm using. So the first thing is the sign in button is in the settings menu now. So if you go into settings, you can sign in or sign out. I'm currently signed out or signed in. So yeah. So if I wanted to play the game, I have some data here already. So if I play the game, I'm assuming I'm pretty sure the bugs are fixed. The 3 bugs that you found, but they're really hard to replicate. So I don't know if I'm not considering some other situation, but basically from a lot of time that I've tested, I have not been able to get the bug again after I changed some of the settings and some of the code. So I'm pretty sure they're fixed. And also I should show the magnetic bullet. The magnetic bullet now makes a sudden turn towards the center, so you can do this and you can see it makes the turn. Yeah, that's that. Let's see. So start this. The next thing I have to show is the gate level prompt. So it prompts you whenever the next level is progress locked. We'll just get to that. Oh, not replay. I should just finish. Okay, that's 1, 2. Oops. Okay, so after level 5, I will have the prompt. I'll have the prompt to basically unlock the next level for the progress cost. Oops. Okay, so you can see the next level is locked. So you have completed this level. Open the next level for 15 stars. So you can go in here and then it prompts you unlock gate with 15 stars. You can accept, and so every time you use any of the stars, is going to automatically save the game to the cloud. And here you have unlocked the next level. You can go up here and you can see now they're locked. And you can also look at the logs. Data successfully saved to the cloud. So yeah, that's that, and I'll just have to show you the syncing. So I have completed level 5. I've completed level 5. So level 6, I haven't done any of the sub levels on level 6. So if I go to menu and sign out now, you'll see it ask you save data to cloud before signing out. Yeah, we could do that. So we could just say sure. So this is a little option, and if I go here and play now everything I do is saved locally. All the data is now being saved locally. Oops, I can't. just need to show you the save prompt or the sync prompt that it gives you. I just can't, so I'll just skip this. I'm just trying to finish this level so it triggers the autosave function. So if I go next, you can see the little loading screen popped up for like a millisecond because it saves to the local machine pretty fast. And if I could just go into the logs, you can see should be okay. So data successfully saved locally over here. Starting game state play. Okay, so the data has been saved. Now if I go back to menu, so let's see. So I have completed level 6 and now level 7 is unlocked, right? And if you remember on the cloud save, level 7 was locked, so we can sync. So if I say now, go and sign in, we'll see, it's gonna try to sign in, it's gonna continue, and then once you're signed in, it's going to load the data and it's going to ask, save data not synchronized, most recent save was done locally. So if you remember, we were just playing locally, so do you want to load from the local or the cloud data? So the most recent might not be a good idea if you're on a different device and you just signed in for the first time, but a different device that you played the game on has more progress saved on the cloud. Then you might want to, even though the cloud is behind in time, you might still want to load from the cloud. So if I say cloud now, it's going to set us back to level 6 because in the cloud data, level 7 was not unlocked. So I'll just show you. If I just say cloud, you can see the thing was actually done pretty fast, and you can see level 7 is now locked. Also, if I just go back and sign out again, sure, we'll save to the cloud before signing out. Sign out again, and then we play the game again. So that is it's loading ad. I don't know if it's just my device, it takes a bit to load the ad, but yeah. That's just ad mob, so I can't really do anything about it. So if I just go back, you can see, okay, I got 3 star here and no stars on sub-level 2 for level 6. And now I can go back and you can see I'm not signed in, so the data was saved locally. So if I just quit now, so if I quit, accept, and if I now load back in, so it's going to authenticate. You can see it's giving you the authentication prompt. So if you manually sign out, it's going to prompt you to authenticate. That's just how Play Games works. So I just say continue, and then once authentication is done, you can see it's going to say configuring AdMob, loading game data, and then it's going to prompt you again. Save data not synchronized. Most recent save was locally done. So if I just hit local now, it's going to save it to the cloud, and you can see if I go up, you can see the data is synced to the cloud, even though I was saved locally previously, it's synced to the cloud now. And you can always see the campaign is always selected. The active campaign will always be selected, and the first campaign is unlocked by default. Does that, and I think that's it for this iteration. There is no other thing in my list. Yes, and yeah, that's about it. Also, the game is saved every time you purchase something from the shop. So whether it's a character, I don't have any characters here, or any extras. Here, I have the pet here. Okay. So that's it pretty much for this iteration. Let me know if you have any questions. Just cut the game now.